Joining us from Washington is NBC's Bianca Fascini. Thank you so much for being here, Bianca. So no opportunities for votes today. We know it's a holiday. When do we expect this process to pick back up?
Hey, Faith, good morning. The next opportunity is not until tomorrow because Capitol Hill had already been planning to observe Yom Kippur today, as you just mentioned. So the Senate will reconvene on Friday at 1:30 p.m. Eastern to vote again, which is really the earliest that this could all be over tomorrow afternoon. But at this point, it really seems unclear whether there's a real chance of that happening at all.
And Bianca, we know yesterday we saw an unsuccessful vote. There seems to be so much finger pointing right now. It doesn't seem like either side is willing to budge here. We know that Vice President J.D. Vance is saying this is going to be quick. But as we know, back in 2018, it was not quick. Over 30 days of this government shutdown. Do you see from your reporting, could there be a breakthrough on either side? Could we get this resolved relatively quickly?
Well, one scenario here is that both sides agree to an extension that might reopen the government and allow for a little bit more time to negotiate. But right now, both sides really seem to be digging their heels in. And some lawmakers think that this shutdown could go on for at least a week, maybe even longer. I think one thing to watch out for, too, is the impacts of this shutdown, though, because historically we know that shutdowns haven't really had a significant impact on the economy in the past. And if it did have some sort of impact on the economy, it was eventually made up for. But it's not clear whether it'll be the same this time. I mean, one thing that this shutdown is doing is preventing the jobs report from coming out tomorrow because the Labor Department is shut down, right? So we know, and I know you were just talking about this with a guest, that the job market is sort of shaky right now. This is also our post-COVID economy where we're having our first shutdown. So it's not clear whether it'll be the same like before. A lot of investors are sort of assuming that it'll be the same thing where it's not going to have a huge economic impact, not a reason to panic, but this is also a different time. However, I will say that this is not President Trump's first shutdown rodeo. As you also mentioned, the last time this happened was during his first term. And right now, it really does seem like both parties are at a real standstill. It's not clear what sort of negotiations would come in terms of the health care fight that they're having and for those benefits for the Affordable Care Act and the tax credits. So it will be interesting to see if there's anything interesting said today or tomorrow when senators return. But again, right now, it really is unclear how long this could go on for. And it seems like both parties are sort of willing to just let this keep going before someone finally gives in.
And we do have about 30 seconds here. What is the White House saying about this?
The White House is very much in lockstep with the Republican Party on this. Vice President Vance did say that they're pretty much ready to go with layoffs. And there was a CBO estimate that hundreds of thousands of federal workers could be furloughed per day for as long as this shutdown goes on. So we're talking about a lot of federal workers here in Washington, but across the country that could really be impacted by this. And, we're seeing a very united front for the GOP and the Trump administration. And I mean, that could also be because they are they're the ruling party. They have control of the Senate and the House and the White House. So it will really be interesting to see how things play out the rest of this week and into next week as well.
And some Democrats seeing this as their only chance to really fight back because of what you just mentioned there. Bianca Fascini, thank you so much for coming on and providing your insight. We truly appreciate it.